Hey guys, it's me, Steve WB, and we are live today with Fishy Comics. Welcome, Fish.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for welcoming there, Steve WB. Welcome, everybody.
And today we're going to be talking about this guy right here, the 360 Insta. Let me look at the name again. Insta 360 One X2, and the Insta 360 One RS. Right? That's the correct name for it.
Correct.
And
Inst-
go ahead.
Insta360 is the name of the company, and one is probably the name of the model. And depending on the models they have, RS, R, X, X2, etc., etc.
Oh, I forgot to turn the comments on. Hello, Max and Minnie. They're here. Insta party happening here. And then we have Toffee. Hello, Toffee. Now, this is
Hey,
probably
guys.
the most
Hey,
unorganized live stream that I've done. I've been running crazy today, and I was like, oh crap, I got a live stream in like 15 minutes, so I had to throw a thumbnail together, and here I am. But we're going to talk about when to use this, when not to use this, what it's good for, what it's bad for. Uh, Fish has had the RS, and he's had this one as well, in which he returned them both because unless you really have a need for 360, it's a gimmick. You know, if it's something that you can use and something you're really interested in and you have a place for it, then it can be the most valuable tool ever if you can get used to the extra step, right? If you can get used to the extra step before your edit, and that's when you go in and you put your points in your timeline and orient your camera and all that. If you can get used to that extra step, then it'll become worth it. But if you're just planning on using it for just vlogging or just an action cam that you don't need to look 360, then it's probably not really worth your time whatsoever. Fish, you had a mixed feeling about it. What was your impression?
I have Samsung and another company called Wondershare. They're this similar company, and I've been using 360 for quite some time, back in the 2016. And Insta360 says it's an invisible stick and you can capture the 360 degrees. The more I watch many people's videos, the more addicted I became towards it. Not peer pressure, but I want to get one. And the X2, I said, what's the hype about? It's got to be a great camera. It does that motion trail where you have your same body that you're jumping in, what GoPro can do, but you're doing layering and a lot of work. And I got the camera. I never used those features, and I went out for the 360 field of view, and I liked it, but something in there just told me it's too much work for me at this time with everything I have. And going towards the RS, the same thing. Oh, it's a brand new camera, but GoPro, I have a lot of issues, and I don't want a camera that has a lot of issues every single time. I went out this morning, my LEDs lit up again from last night. It's 100% charged, but the Insta361 RS, not a single issue. Sure, there is. Nobody's showing the issue in 6K with the audio sound. So I figured, why would I want to get the twin edition, and I could just get the 4K, be happy with it, and get the X2 and have both cameras at the same time, and just get away from GoPro and try Insta360, see how they are. And I just saw the couple of nicks that I couldn't get used to. GoPro horizon level, very simple. You set it up, off you go. Insta360 could not figure it out at all until Insta360 said, take it off a flow state, put it on post, and everything will be there. Not true, not in the firmware. And I was on the latest firmware.
Yeah, I think, and this is kind of one of my gripes with these cameras. Well, it's not necessarily these cameras; it's more like the camera companies, because when Insta or GoPro or DJI, they're going to go put out an action camera like this. They give them to Potato Jet, Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat. They give them to all these big YouTubers who use it for probably about an hour to talk about how good it is, and then they throw it in a drawer until next year when they need to compare it to the previous model. And so you always get the quick, you know, I guess padded review. None of them really take the time to really learn the ins and out of the camera or to try to find any bugs or issues or anything like that. So all these people see this big YouTuber with this camera and the great footage that a professional can get with that camera, and so they fled to go buy it. And then it's the little guys like Fishy and me and Danny Black and all these other guys that actually know these cameras inside and out and actually learn how to use them. And so then everybody starts trickling down to the little guy to like, well, why does it do that? Why does it do this? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like one of those catches. Why don't the camera companies say, well, why don't we put these in the hands of somebody who is actually going to use it and actually has experience with our cameras? You know what I mean? Then we could really find out. And then why do they push the cameras out so quick with all these issues and expect you to just eat it?
I feel that all these YouTubers that are given the camera were given it 2 months in advance. So the camera came out 3, 4 weeks ago, mid-March, let's say, and they were given the camera in January. They had 2 months to get the video, make it perfect, not one single issue, and do that scene over and over and over again, and off they go. And the one thing that they showed the 6K video, has anybody shown any audio with the 6K video? I don't think so. And I had audio interference like you would hear on the radio, that the different frequencies sitting there. And then the crop, I was 10 feet away and I was cropped out of the picture. GoPro, I did 60/16 by 25/60, and I'm not cropped out of the picture the same distance. And I just want to say, Maxim Mini Meow says, I had a great point with the horizon level. And I'll just use the GoPros as the example. You go into I got to do it this way. You go into the camera and you look on that very small screen, and you would go into the settings. You would swipe this way, and you had to find video, which was number 7, and you pressed it. And then you look for the flow state, and the flow state was right here on the camera, on the inside of the camera. So let's say it's right here next to the lens. It wasn't there. You had to go to flow state, turn it off to post, and you watch the Insta One RS Best 360, I believe his name was, and he showed that exactly how to get into it. And I understand it's on the package, but it's not out yet in firmware. Say soon to come. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody out there. I'm just saying what was on my mind at the given time. My mind wanders sometime.
Yeah. And I know when we talked about doing this live stream, I was supposed to be a good cop and you were supposed to be bad cop. But you know how that goes. Every good plan gets destroyed. But
oh yeah.
So I'm going to kind of reflect on the good cop part a little bit. And the reason why I got the 360 camera is we do a lot of family vlogs and we go to Disney a lot. And I've always wanted to walk through the parks and live stream or shoot video to where whoever is there watching that video can actually use their phone to look around and see what they want to see and not see what I want to show them. So that's one thing I want to do, is just to give people the freedom to look around and check out the park yourself as I walk through. And I even want to do a live stream that way on our family channel so people can see. Plus, if where quality is not so important on our family channel, if I have this, I have 4 kids and they're crazy. I'm crazy. We're all crazy. And if I'm recording with this in 360 mode and we're walking around, if this one does something funny or that one does something funny, I'm going to have it on camera. The problem I have now is when I'm recording this, my son over here, well, my daughter might be dancing or something that I would want, and so you try to whip it around and you start doing this kind of thing, But yeah. If I have the 360 cam, I can just hold it. And then when I go in post, I can highlight who I want and put the camera where I want. And that's the good point of the 360 camera, because you record everything all the time. It's great for family get-togethers, weddings, parties, things like that.
with the 360 and the GoPro Max, the GoPro Max has the bottom feet, the fingers, and they have the shortest thumb bolt. And on the Insta 360 One X2, it doesn't have it. As you can see, this is my Insta 360 One X2. Nah, it's just an idea of it. It's flush. And that's where they are saying, oh, I got the invisible stick, and these cameras also can do the same thing. The one thing I did not like about the X2, the second one I had, was that stitch line. And that could have been because of the PT20, the Sonova microphone, and the lead. And just the sun hitting it the right way caused that little stitch line there.
Yeah.
And I noticed that on your video as well.
Yeah, because I was trying to find the little PT20 adapter, and Amazon didn't have it in stock, and I finally found one at B&H Photo, but I'd made my own. And with this camera, you can see how narrow it is, and the selfie stick at the end is no bigger than the edge of this camera. If you have anything wider than the edge of this camera right here, it's going to get in your picture.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can go 10 feet this way from it, but it better not be any thicker than the side of this camera, because I can show you. Let me get up here.
Hey, Steve's not looking, but he sees the PT20 there. He's getting his. Yeah. There you go.
Yep. See, this was my little Sonova adapter, and the way I had this hooked up, and you saw it in my video of me just cruising around town. That was just my welcome to 360 world. And I just had this little pigtail, and I had it going into my Rode Wireless Go with my homemade bracket. And this edge right here where I looped this was just barely sticking off the side, like not even that much. And you can see it. My gig user called it a UFO. It's like, you got a UFO chasing you. So I was happy when he did his 360 video that he had the wrong connector on the top,
right? Yeah,
and it had a little UFO. I said, "Hey, my UFO's over there seeing you."
I saw that comment. Now, I like the 360 One X2, and I noticed a person. He could be from Japan or America, but I believe he's from Japan. And he showed. I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. I watched the video. I saw somebody had an X2, and they had all those funny designs in yellow, red, orange. And I just found the site today. And if I can look at it, it's, I'll get it to you right now, gadgeticloud.com. That's the name of the site. And that's exactly where you can get that Insta360 One X2. And I'm interested in getting that. It's $449 tax-free. And they have the X2 for $383. And I'm kicking myself every single day of not keeping that camera at $386.99. And now they have it at the lowest price. Who knows? Maybe I'll go grab one again. And I have to keep it then. And my video will be coming up soon. I think in a couple of days or so. I could release it early. I got no problem. And that's my X2 going out crisp and clear in the morning hour. And that's what's saying to myself, why did I return it if I got such a picture like that?
I saw that video and I was like, damn, that really looks good. And then you were talking about bad low light, and I'm like, what's he looking at? Because it looks good.
In Studio 2022, you have a feature that's called noise reduction, and all you do is click it. And I believe I did not click it on this video that's soon to come out.
Gotcha. Well, another thing too that I learned whenever I uploaded my 360 video on the one wheel was I was blown away at how big the file is, but how low the resolution really is. Now, whenever my video was 8 minutes long, and that was a 12 gigabyte file, it was like massive. And that's why when I uploaded it, it said it had finished processing on YouTube. And so I was looking at the resolution. I was like, I understand that it's really 1080p. You know, it says 5.7K, but that's 5.7K 360 around. but I'm seeing like 420 here, and that was after the processing. But come to find out, it did get a lot clearer a couple hours later. It was still processing,
Uploading,
even
yeah.
though YouTube thought it was done. And because I try to wait until they're done processing before I release them, and I was just blown away. Yeah.
This is one of the cards you'll get over there that the person's asking. The
Mhm.
Samsung Evo Select 128. It's nothing special. It does the job for most of the products at less the price of today's SanDisk cards, which are also pretty good. Extreme Plus. These both will do an excellent job, guys. I thank you for that question, Savannah B. Yeah, I never noticed the file size. I never paid attention to it. And I'm shooting on a Lenovo ThinkPad Yoga X380, and I want to update. And I am going crazy looking for a laptop that will work for my needs. And I want to go the M1 Mac to edit 360 video and everything with Resolve. Did you know that Resolve does 360 framing? It's a betaware.
Yes, I've seen that. I just haven't found it in the program yet.
Okay, I have it. I haven't loaded it yet, and I got all my videos saved to try it out, but my machine cannot handle it. I have a question from Maxim Mini Meow. Fishy question: do you edit in the app or desktop? I always edit on my desktop. My phone is a phone. Phone is made for phone calls, and if you're editing, I'm not sure if you're going to get interrupted. So many texts. I rather edit on a laptop. I wear glasses, a lot easier to see a laptop, and I use Power Director 19. I would use Magix 2022, and I'm trying DaVinci Resolve 18 or 17 I'm using right now, and I just cannot work with the latency, the stuttering going through like that on
Mhm.
4K video.
Yeah, if you got to have a decent machine for sure, because I can do 4K all right if I, but if it starts doing the stuttering, as you say, I have to. Let me click this up here. I have to drop the resolution all the way down from the timeline. You can pick your timeline resolution. You can go to quarter quality.
4K 10, yeah.
Right. So with my laptop in that setting, I can do fine. But if I go to 5.7K on the GoPro, then I have to sit there and spend an hour or so making proxies and turn everything into proxy files. Then I can edit them smoothly. But I don't necessarily like doing the proxies because it drops the resolution so much. If you wanted to color correct or something like that, it makes it hard to see what you're really adjusting. It makes throws the contrast off and things like that.
With the Insta 361 RS, they have LRV files at the beginning, and then you have your regular files. And if you just take all those files and bring it into Resolve, it brings in the proxies. It will accept the proxies. With GoPro, it won't accept the proxies. And all you have to do is just go to, I forget how it was, you just click on it, link to proxies in Resolve, and it should find it. And it works for me. And don't hold me to my words. I may be mistakenly saying something incorrect. I do that at times. So please forgive me if I say something wrong.
Yep. It's funny because that question came up yesterday about editing 4K or actually encoding it. When you're exporting it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, my computer does 4K in like 5 minutes," and my gig user was like,
Yeah.
"Really, 5 minutes?" So I was like, "Hold up, let me double check that," because I edited my comment and I double checked it, and to do an 8-minute video, my computer would do it in say 20 minutes. But that's an H.264 codec. I usually export for YouTube an H.265, and H.265 only takes like 10 minutes for an 8-minute video in 4K. So I wasn't technically that far off, but maybe I was drinking. I don't know.
Most of my videos are H.264, MP4. I don't do the HEVC. And this is what I edit with a Microsoft Surface Pro 4, and it does a good job. But the problem with this, it overheats in an instant and it just whites right out. No issue with this laptop. And Power Direct is fine, and Magix is fine, but Resolve, throw it away. It won't work. It's just slow.
Yeah.
And between the Lenovo and the Surface Pro 4, Lenovo with Magix, it throws the windows any which way it wants, and in the Lenovo it throws any which way it wants, and in the Surface Pro 4 is correct. So I go back and forth, and I'm ready to buy a new laptop with the private conversation we had.
Right. And if you get a machine that can run DaVinci Resolve, and we'll get back on the 360 in just a second.
Yeah,
I would get one of these right here. I don't know if you've seen this. It's made
I've
for the
seen.
Resolve, the
Yeah.
speed editor. This you use this and it rolls through your clip. Okay, scrubs your timeline for you, and then you just hit in and out where you want to make your cuts, and just hit the append button to add it to your timeline. So literally, you just sit here and you're rolling. You go in, out, in, out, in, out, add, in, out, add.
Yeah,
And you can go
instead of
through a
doing
clip.
this.
So yeah, you're not on the mouse at all. And you can just go through your clip so fast and cut out the ums and the ahs and the buts and the ands and all that stuff. But
I give a thumbs up to the people that are commenting, so I acknowledge them. That's what I do. I don't want to cut
Yeah.
Steve WB off because he'll cut me right off. He's the host of the show.
Yeah, but I can't do it on my own. I tried to do it live on my own the other day, or I guess a week or so ago, whenever I was doing my giveaway, and it was just a total disaster. I was like, I don't like doing it by myself. It's just too rough. Because you're trying to do stuff behind the scenes, and you know what I mean.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
With the Insta 360 and the editing software and the laptop you got, you have to make what works for you and the best. And when I go and edit my stuff, like you said, I got to look in Power Director, wait for that scrubbing audio to come up. It could be 10 minutes later, and then it comes up. I can see my blank where I cut it, and I do my end and cut it. And I have to listen to what I say and see if it matches up, and then cut out what I want. Otherwise, I just cut the front, cut the end, put the next one in, 20-minute video, off I go. 40 minutes later, it's made. And I just put it up there. And that's editing.
Yeah, that's editing. Now, you said that with the price of the X2 now that you're thinking about getting another one, what do you think is the best use for the X2? Like, what's your application going to be? What's Fish going to do with it?
If I am going to take my GoPro and I'm going to ride my bicycle, and I can't hold two things at one time. So the Insta 360, like I saw this guy, he has a helmet. My helmet's over there. I don't wear my helmet. I should wear my helmet today's times. Put it on your head. Off you go. Record. Take your GoPro. Go record. Come back. Pick out the shots you want. Give a couple of clips here. Do the talk. A couple of clips there. You make your story. But for me, it's either going to be the 360 one vlog and the GoPro one vlog. And that's what I'll probably do my separate 360. And if I want to add something in, I will. One thing, I went out and I did a vlog, and I did a shorts. You saw that car just sped right by. If I had the 360, I just hit the start, and I just caught the car going. So it's good to have a 360 One X2. If it's an RS with the 360 or the X2, you have something to do your 2D framing. But the thing I don't like about the 360, which kind of gets me away from it, and let me try to explain it. You got a ball, 360-degree video. Your video is flat, and it goes around the ball, and I don't like the way it pans at sometimes. It may pan this way. It may pan on a tilt. On a GoPro, I do the panning. and it's always smooth the way I go. The 360, you got to be precise on your keyframes. That's what I think out loud.
Yeah, that's the first video that I edited with that when I was learning was my daughter in the front yard, and she had the big bubble wands, you know what I mean? And it did a really good job where, because I was walking around her to try to get that rotation along with the
Yeah.
360 cam. But whenever I stopped, even using the keyframes, it got like all of a sudden it didn't know if it wanted to be in or out or up or down. And it just started kind of like jittering for a second. And you have no control, like you said, over that pan speed. You have control over the keyframes and where you want it to look, but you really don't have control, or I haven't yet so far. If I wanted to go from looking here to looking over here, how fast it goes from A to B.
You take keyframe, you make your keyframe, you go a split second or two and make the second keyframe. So now you got your shot in between. I'm sorry, guys. I want to get my background in there. I sit like this. You got your keyframe right here, and you want to make this in between as narrow as possible. And when you do your pan, you open up the keyframe. You got these waves, and you have to learn that the speed you want. And the 2022 software may not be the right software to do that. And you'd go into Power Director and you do your keyframes, and you could basically cut your video and then switch over. And that's what you may have to do. Make your one small video and then take the other video and make the cut and forget about panning. Learn panning later.
Right.
You hold the camera this way, then you get your correct pan. Once you start to hold the camera on an angle this way, your pan will still go the same way. It's a gyro. It'll level out. And that's what I got to get used to in the 360 camera field.
Right. And getting the right, I guess, amount of zoom. You know,
Yeah.
because if you're a little too far out, then it turns all bubbly and the fisheye becomes really bad.
Well,
And
you
then
zoom
in,
out.
and then it gives you more of that linear look. But then
Yes.
sometimes you're cropping your shot too much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's there's definitely a learning curve going from the 2D world to the 3D world, because
Yeah.
you're learning all over again how far the camera should be, because it's like whenever I was riding my one wheel, I see everybody just holding this stick out, not really paying attention to the height of the camera. And I was foolish in that because I'm holding it down here. I should have had the camera more up eye level if I wanted you to be able to look me in the eye, because by holding it lower, even though you have 360 view, it's 360 view from my kneecaps. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
got to remember, if you're talking to the camera, you still got to bring that camera up.
The 360, the minimum is about 18 inches, 2 feet before you get the stitch line, I believe. And this is the compact one, 78 millimeters. That's 3 feet. Nose to the thumb, 3 feet. So it's just about 28 inches. And I have the 120 right here in the box, and that's like 4 feet. And once you have that out there, like you're saying, and get your angle and the height you want, you're good to go. You keep it at your level, you get everything at your level. Now,
Yep.
I saved my notes on, I try to make notes early on what I disliked, and I kind of remembered everything. Portrait versus horizontal, meaning portrait versus landscape. In a 360, I haven't tried that yet. Maybe Steve could get onto that. I'm going to pull up
I,
my, go ahead.
I can't even touch on that because I mean, really, with the 360, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how you want to frame it. Because when you're filming it, it's the same either way. It's just depending on what you want to have in the frame. Because
Yes.
when you hit record with the Insta 360, you're just hitting record. And then you do everything else in post. You choose your horizontal, or if you want portrait, or if you want horizontal, you choose where you're looking, when you're looking. Everything is all done in post. The camera
Correct.
just records everything when you hit go, so you don't even think about that until you're sitting down at the computer, and then you can choose the format. And that's one of the pros that they try to sell you on is if you have the 360 going, and like Max and Minnie, if you're recording your kitties, if you want to turn a clip of that video into a short and make it vertical, you just do that in post with the same footage, and then you can put it on YouTube and make it 16 by 9 as well, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, 9 by 16 is is the portrait, and 16 by 9 is your landscape. And I'm trying to pull up the Insta 360 app if I could get it. I've got it somewhere. I want to read you part of my list of the 1RS, which I didn't like. The very first one was horizon level. Maybe post you can do it. The other was 6K audio. The interference I had, it was not just the one clip, it was the number of clips that I went through. And I got nothing to hide. I'm open and honest. You think I hate it? I hate it. You think I liked it? I liked it. And I won't argue with you. That's who I am. I tell it like it is. The interface, didn't like it all. I'll use the GoPro when I was on video mode and I wanted to change and I swiped over, it went right to the next mode. I wanted to swipe and see I was on video mode to swipe to the next mode. Another one was the format, not an issue. GoPro takes about 10 seconds. Insta 360 takes about 25 seconds. Argument's sake, a little longer, but it tells you in percentage how long it's taking 2, 3, 4, 48, 52, like that. And that I liked. The battery is an indicator of a solid and not like GoPro 20, 30, 58% like that. The mode on button, you had to get used to because it's a different camera. It was more towards the center, a harder button to push. The record button or shutter was a little softer, felting like the GoPro's cellophane button. And when you put it in the case the opposite way, which way do I hit? You had to turn the camera this way and hit this way. It's you just figure out which way it goes. It's just your mind goes boggle. And I tell you, this is what I did to my action. I just put colors on it because going from two different cameras, I just
Right.
don't know anymore which is to record. And
Yeah,
then, yeah,
I know
one
all
last,
about that.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, man.
One last thing. When every time I went to shoot video and I was at 4K, 60 frames per second, I happened to be always in ultra wide. Shut the camera off. I swear it was in linear. It went right back to ultra wide. Maybe it was my camera. The recording LED is red. It's red in the back, blue, or a baby blue. Almost like the color of my wall here. That's the color of the light. And when you were looking at it in the front, and thanks, Max and Minnie Meow, you looked at it in the front during daylight, it was harder to see than the back light. The back was a red light, like my clock just died down here. And I got a lithium battery in there. And the front, you just couldn't see that well in pure daylight.
Well, let me ask you this question because we've both had the X2. I have not had the RS. And so you've had a chance to compare footage from the RS to the GoPro as far as how clean the footage looks. Which one has the better color and the better clarity?
I made a video today going over the same scene. Oh, look at these tulips. They were yellow and red. When I looked at that on the Insta 360 RS, it was explosive on the one of the colors. I want to say yellow, could be red, or vice versa. The colors were there. The outline all depends on your computer. Your computer may be set up differently in color than mine and many other people. The colors looked pretty awesome and very pronounced when I went towards the bay in the sunrise using active HDR. And I look back at that, I go, wow, I should have kept the Insta 361 RS. That was the selling point right there. And then GoPro is a little darker, different in its way, in its coloring and all. And I could live with the GoPro. I dealt with the GoPro, and it would just it wouldn't make me keep the camera anymore having all these cameras here. I don't need another camera in my arsenal.
Right.
And
You
what am I
can't
going to
decide
do with
now
it?
which one to use. That's the
Yeah.
problem I have.
What am I going to do with the GoPro if I continue to use RS? Get rid of it? No, it'll go on the shelf like the other cameras over here, the 7 and the 8. They sit there, no longer using those GoPros because of horizon level. And color,
It's funny,
color,
like when you look back at your old camera footage, because I recently did a recording with my Hero 5 thinking I was going to make it look amazing. And I was like, man, that just looks like trash.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
hi, Fred. Welcome, buddy.
Get in there, Ohio Fred. The link is given to you. Hurry up and join us, buddy. Come on, man. We need that arbitrator. Come on,
That's
buddy.
right.
It's on FB,
But
Facebook.
that's right. I was watching Danny Black's video this morning, and he put the 1RS and the Hero 10 on an RC car and was driving it around. And it was an A/B test. Which one do you like better, A or B? And when I was watching that footage, I knew right away that I like the colors and the image from the 1RS better than the GoPro. It just seems like the GoPro does that mushy pumpkin skin like thing to you, and it almost looked like there was a thin layer of yellow over the GoPro footage at certain angles. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
you got that yellowing, but then when it
layers.
would turn a certain way, it would look good, but other ways it almost looked antiqued compared to the RS. And I
Cat,
like that real crisp, clear look. I don't like the muddy, and it's not the clarity, the sharpness of the image. It's the colors that they use. You know what I mean?
and speaking of the devil, here he is. Maybe he could answer that question for us if he gets up to that speed.
Yep.
If Danny Black can answer the question, how close was it to the ESC and the motor? Was it right on top of it because it was on the hood? I didn't get a chance to watch it. And if you put your GoPro, since you have a lawnmower, I have a snow thrower, and I put it next to the spark plug, goodbye. It's like this, it's wavy. And that could be something that the GoPro's picking up, layering because of the electronics. And maybe the Insta 360 does a better job. I'm not sure. His ears were burning. Were they ringing? How loud were they ringing there, Mr. Black? He's excellent guy. I got no word to that gentleman. Excellent guy.
I think it's funny because, Danny, I woke up with you this morning, and since I woke up this morning, you've been to bed and you've woke up again, and I'm still going. I appeared on his live this morning, YouTube Uncut. We were talking about the Amazon program, and I'm sitting here doing my stuff, and I get a message from him at 11 o'clock last night, like, "Hey, I know it's kind of early, but if you want to come on at 5 in the morning your time, we're doing a live, and we'd like to talk about Amazon." I was like, "That's 6 hours away." But
Yeah, yeah.
for Danny, you got it, buddy. I usually only sleep 5 or 6 hours anyway, so it wasn't an issue at all.
I just want to say this to tell you how easy the 361 RS has come. All you gotta do is just put that video in there and edit. The R, I think, was a little harder. They had a little difficulty with the filing system. You had to go to post and do a lot of editing to get stabilization and whatnot. And that leads to the 360 question of the 1X2. And I'll use these as example why I went from one camera trying to go to this real cheap knockoff camera. The Samsung makes the file, and you cannot stitch the file in any other program but Power Action Director 2.0. And then this camera here does the stitching automatically like the 1X2. You don't have to do any stitching. And today, it's just basically drop and drag and off you go. If you use the application that Samsung no longer is using, it's the end of life. They got rid of the camera, got rid of the application. You could stitch through the application, and that I did not know. So all my hours of stitching in Action 2, I could have did it on the phone that a gentleman or person, Max and Minnie Meow, has asked. Edit on the phone, you could do a lot easier job than a desktop and vice versa.
Yep. Now, since Danny is in attendance, I'm going to ask Danny, you can only take one camera, the Hero 10 or the Insta RS. Which one are you taking? We'll give him a second to answer that. But did you see what he wrote? But to answer your question, I don't think it was electronics making the waves, maybe the vibrations. If you had a max lens mod, it would be smooth. Or
Yeah,
max lens mod, it would look smooth as. And I was just curious what he was going to refer to next.
yeah, it's the same thing as putting it on a drone or a quadcopter, we used to call it. Once the propeller spin and the airwaves hits it, it'll vibrate. And depending on the road, I have to agree on that. So it could be a lot of factors. Choose. That's a good question. I'll answer. Oh, that's a good question. I'll answer. Uh, my gig user asked me that question. Since I'm a GoPro guy and Danny Black stole my show, I never had an opportunity to get a Max or want to get a Max that's top dollar. And it's not going to drop down in any price. Will I get the Max 2 when it comes out? Don't think so. With all the bugs and issue this camera gives me, I don't want any more fun with GoPro.
Speaking of smooth, I didn't realize until today that you've enable rock steady mode with your DJI Action.
Turn on the camera, and somewhere in here it will swipe down. Oop, do apologize, swipe up, and let the webcam and the lights do justice, and then hopefully my finger points to the right area.
Yep.
You click it once, it's off. It's not blue. Click it again, it turns blue. I'm not sure if DJI has changed that color way back in the early firmware times. And
Yeah.
love the camera. This is my review camera. I use it all the time. The only gripe I have about it is this particular company that makes the X2 and the RS, Sonova makes this the third party. Why cannot they make this in a stereo microphone? Because the camera may not be able to handle it. You can
Right.
take this into the RS and you could plug it in. You can see the mic gain control 369 dB light up. But once you plug in a microphone, it records. So you have a wire record button if you use the Sonova adapter of an Action.
So Danny's response to which camera he would take is he likes the RS, but it takes some getting used to. There is so much to discover, but I find that modular is a bit annoying sometimes. However, I love the 360 stuff for fun shots. And that kind of makes me think of my impression of this camera is I don't think enough people, and this isn't a shot at you, Fish, but I think you need to use this camera on a very regular basis for probably 4 or 5 months and really get efficient with their keyframing and their software. And once you do that, this will be just like using any other action camera, but you will be able to really nail some nice shots. I think you have to be patient and willing to put in the work to learn it. And then once you learn it, could probably be the best camera you own, as far as action cameras go.
How many times have I bought this camera?
I know, right? Three or
How many
four.
times? And how many times am I up to the X2? I'm up to 2. So 3 times is the charm. The one RS and the one X2. This is my my gripe on the RS. Put it in my pocket, sit down. What's going to happen with the module? It's going to break eventually, or the buttons are going to just open up and the camera's going to fall off. And with the X2, I'm afraid that I'm going to break the lens. And Ohio Fred is in the house. He could ask you the camera he got that looks exactly like this and what I sent him. It had the broken screen. And this is removable if you know how to get it off. And I wish the X2 would have a removable lens. Everybody does.
Right.
And I will go back, and I'm debating on that one particular model that I said, go visit that site that's funky looking. And I just don't have the exact name of it because if I got to close the screen out. Naruto, Naruto. It's a Insta360 film on the camera that they take apart, and they actually color everything up, and they do an excellent job. I'm not sure how good the camera's going to be after they finish if something goes wrong, but they got the Insta360 One X2 there. Mother's Day sale. B&H is showing, oh, we got it on sale, $429 or $425. And Memorial Day is coming. Maybe the $386.99 will come down again in price. That spring sale was awesome, and stupid me gave it back. I kicked myself.
Well, I'm sure you'll buy it again. Now,
No,
Danny.
no. Give it to Danny. Go ahead.
Danny, you're talking about the 6K feature that you thought was a joke until you realize that you stabilize it through their computer app, and then it looks really nice. Have you had any audio sounds like Fish has had while using the 6K mode?
Give Danny link. Give Danny the link to the stream. He wants to join in, I believe.
You want to come on?
He says, Steve, can you drop a link to
Absolutely.
your guest?
Hold on one second.
Yeah, Danny, I went out and I shot video, and I was sitting on the park bench, and the only electronics is the phone in my front pocket, and I stepped 8 feet away, and I'm doing the 6K footage, and I got a high interference noise, and let me tell you, it was, not what I want to have in the camera. And that's what you have to test out. And a lot of people are not showing that. And maybe it was my model, but my model came from Amazon, and I trust it was a good model.
All right, Danny, check your email, buddy. All right, let's see what Fred was saying. So many of us are point and shoot. Not much time to learn a new platform. I do think the 360 is way of the future. It could be, but my theory is it will be once they figure out how to get 4K resolution all the way around instead of shooting at 5.7K and only really getting a 1080 image in any one direction. And it's going to take a lot of, what do you say, 7?
They got 8K up there already.
They do.
Yeah.
But those cameras, very buggy, a lot of heat. You know what I mean? Because I forgot the name of those cameras, but they use them for real estate, usually short videos, 8K photos. But do they shoot 4K in any one direction, or what does it dumb down to, 2.7K?
I don't know. I'm not a pro at this, and I'm not claiming to be a pro, and I'm just giving my thoughts out loud to all and my opinion. So please don't shoot me for making the wrong mistake. This is a 4K JPEG movie. So it does 4K 360 degrees, 2016. So Insta360 is one step forward, 2 steps behind. They're probably way behind on it. And I'm going to have to retest this out to make sure it does 4K actually. And I'm most sure it does. Go look at my video, Calico Ghost Town in California, and you'll see me holding the camera doing a 10-minute plus walk with this. And I think the footage was awesome. Ohio Fred knows about that. 2016, 2017 on my work tour out there in 100-degree weather. And they claim this camera was the overheated camera within seconds. And you get the proper card that I showed you, that 128 gig Samsung Evo Select, no overheating problems. Correct card, guys, make that camera, whatever it is, work well.
Let's see what Fred's saying here.
He says it was 4K, he thinks.
But the
You gotta
bitrate was low.
Yeah, you got to forgive Fred. He's been on a long drive. He came back from cooking, s'mores. Okay, Fred, you can get off the floor now.
And Maximini Meow says, I can't afford to film in 4K due to limited storage. Yep. Go ahead, Fish.
Max and Mini, 4K is not what you want to do because I get comments, I get remarks saying, we don't want 4K video. It's not about being 4K to influence us. It's just shoot video. And whatever you shoot, if it's 720p, 1080p, it's good enough. It's what you like to do and share it to the world, not what we want from you.
Yes. Go ahead, Fish.
No, well, I'm done. So any of those cameras will do the job. This is probably one of the excellent cameras to get. 720p and 1080p, crisp, clean shot. Nobody likes hybrid cameras.
Yep, and what you'll find too is, even though 4K has been around for a long time, most people don't replace their monitor until it breaks, and there's a lot of people still watching YouTube and everything on their 1080p monitors, 720p monitors, and most people can't see 4K anyway. So I shoot a lot of stuff in 1080 because it's just so easy to work with. And then I just buy these cheap hard drives like this, the Western Digital's 500 gig drives. I can't afford the SSDs, but you know,
there you go.
This is from the last couple of years. This is 15 terabytes right here in my hands. Uh-oh, we have somebody coming. Are y'all ready to welcome Mr. Black? Let's bring in Uncle Blackie. Ta-da!
Oh, you got to frame that better for that. Fishy.
Fish,
I
you
don't
got
want
to
to
slide over.
you just. I'm trying to take Danny Black's spot.
I'm sorry. I took a little bit longer. I was actually not asking for the link to join as a guest. I was actually asking for Fishy's channel because I don't think that I'm subscribed to you, so I wanted to subscribe to you. That's what I was saying.
Well, we suckered you in anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, you got me. You got me.
Good day, Mr. Black. Thank
Yes.
you for joining us. Dan, I want to ask you a question, and
Of course.
it's a inspiring question. You ever see the commercials on YouTube when they say B&H, the B&H commercials?
Yeah. Because I'm in Australia, I don't get those B&H
You
commercials.
don't get that. I think the next time I get it, we should send it to you, and you should listen to them. That person sounds exactly like you, and that is a compliment. Oh, yeah.
Is it a voiceover? Is that what it is?
I don't think it's a voiceover. It's just we're B&H. It's just a commercial for B&H.
No, I mean, but do you see a face that's talking, or is it just
no
voice?
face? It's just a voiceover.
So it could be me. Maybe they took my voice and like ran it through some computer simulations, and then they have my voice like to use.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Gotcha.
I think it was the company that you did the Action 2 review for.
Maybe that's what it was. They're just like
Gotcha.
they wanted me to say a certain amount of phrases, and then like you can read the script, and then all of a sudden they have everything.
So that's you.
I don't
Thank
get
you
any
very
checks
much.
though, unfortunately.
No,
No, it's not.
royalties.
It's not me though. I also have YouTube Premium. I think that's like one of the best like monthly things that I have.
Okay.
It's so good. So you don't get any ads at all.
Okay, I'll go personally down to B&H and tell them about it.
Okay.
And I'll give you a nice quick story. I'll describe the Aptec camera because I walked into B&H. I said, "You have anything like this?" The guys there laughed at me, fell on the floor laughing. "Get out of the store. We don't want you here." And I've been there in person, and it's a great store. They got these baskets that go on the conveyor belt.
In New York, yeah.
In New York, that's where
I've been there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on over, and I'll kick you right out in 2 seconds. I'll show you the front door and the back door. I'm just teasing.
Oh, that's right.
JVC or
Canon.
I gotta get a little closer. Nice.
It's that first camera I've ever purchased.
So Danny, Fish was saying that when he was trying to shoot with the 6K on the RS, that he was having an audio issue. Have you tried audio?
I saw that. I have not talked to actually. I mean, I played it back and it sounded normal. I was actually at the ocean, so I could hear like the waves and stuff. So I don't know what audio issue you might be having.
I was at the ocean and I was able to hear it, and the ocean was 1,000 feet away. But no, it was a nice calm day, luckily. And
what kind of sound were you hearing? Or
it was like electronic interference, not high pitched sound. But I have the video, and I'll just basically throw that raw video up, and you guys can listen to it. Watching that 30-minute video.
Maybe it's all that 5G, all those 5G towers in New York is getting in your brain.
No, the 5G is all in the air. It's all water droplets.
Hey, Toffee.
Yeah,
and hello to everyone else.
5G is basically a lot of virtual, so you may not see the tower. It's all done by the Knox Center.
Yeah. That was a fun time. Probably 2018 going. Let's spot the new towers that came up overnight that we didn't have. Like, it's like, hey, that wasn't there. And it's like, once you notice them, you can't unnotice them anywhere. It's just crazy.
Thanks, Steve. If you have Sprint, you'll notice Sprint towers are there, then they're gone. They're going to be disappearing because they're no longer. 2022, they're history.
Wait, what? Sprint's gone?
Sprint's gone. No
wow.
more.
I did not know that. That's
T-Mobile brought them over.
Okay.
And Metro PCS, T-Mobile's basically buying everybody out.
Metro PCS is buying them out?
No, T-Mobile and Metro PCS are the same company.
Oh, okay.
They merged together.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm going to reel this back in real quick. Now, who do you, Danny, since we have you here, and we're not going to stay on much longer. This has been almost an hour, and it starts to get stale. But who do you think this camera is for?
So I made that one video where I'm like, I think it's for regular people. I love it. Like for me, when I go to like family outings and stuff like that, I love just setting it down and just capturing it and just forgetting about it. Like you can save the files, and then, or like upload them to YouTube as a 360 video and then like, a different channel or something like that. And then have those memories forever. And I think that's a great thing. I also think it's underrated because the quality is not great when you're trying to like impress people with high quality, but for like the weird, like it captures people's eyes because of, whoa, what did you just do there? How did you do that? Like it makes people look at your content a little bit more because it's fun. That's how I like to say it. It's fun. It's fun.
It's not a gadget. It's a camera that you can go out and do everything with. Forget about GoPro. Take the GoPro out of the picture and you want to get an Insta360 One X2. It does it all. It does the regular 180 with the one single lens, or it can do both lenses. It's all up to you how you use it.
Yeah, I mean, I still would be inclined to take the GoPro out if I'm doing some kind of action shot, just because.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because I know how to use it, and I'm actually learning new ways to use them better and better still. But like this, it's cool, but also the screen's a bit small. And then also like having to have the case, I do love that about the GoPro, how it has its built-in little legs and it.
Yeah.
And I'm also, I mean, I get the batteries are about the same price, but I don't know why, but this, for some reason, this is expensive to me. My thoughts were, if they just came out with like the battery was built into the core.
The 4K
And
module,
this,
yeah.
if this was it right here, if that was it, you know what I mean? Then you're like, oh, okay, now I'll put the max lens part onto it, and
Well,
that's it. Now you're ready to go. Like,
Then you have
don't
an
need
action
this part.
too.
Exactly, but this would probably be done better because you have this. Like,
Right.
I understand. I had the camera, I returned it, and I just couldn't see owning all these cameras and using it at the time.
yeah, the Action 2, I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's actually not that bad, but it's just not GoPro level. Like,
No.
it's inconvenient. The modular thing it's not convenient for people that just want to go out and get stuff. And yeah, that's my 2 cents there.
I hear you. The RS, if you compare the screen to the front of the GoPro, the RS screen is smaller than the front screen of the GoPro.
Yeah.
And the glass may be bigger, but it's smaller. And when you go to the mode of video and you swipe to get to the video,
Yeah.
it goes right to the next mode.
It's what's annoying about it too is
It
you have
jumps.
to when you swipe to the next mode, you actually have to press on it, because if you don't press on it, it goes back to the original one that you were just on, and it's what I thought I'm over there. Like, why wouldn't you go to it? The other when I did the first time I used it, I was at the beach and like it's kind of a sunset scenario, and I looked at the screen and it was so like sharp, and I was like, what? That looks terrible. And then when I put it on my computer, I was like, okay, actually, it's really good. But it just made me go like I didn't have any trust in it at the time.
When I grabbed the RS, I didn't bother to flip it to the selfie or look at the screen. The only time I looked at the screen was it's recording. I could trust it. GoPro, I couldn't do that. And I did my shots, did my review, and off I went. I was happy. I think what I didn't like, this was another list, and I'll try to make some sense out of it. When I hit record and I gave the 10 count, I went 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4th second, it started to do its recording. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The red light started to blink. I'm like, am I recording? It beeped at 6 seconds, but it's not synced up to the actual video recording.
No, you're right. When I did the GoPro, the Hero 10, and then this at the same time, I looked at the count, and this was at 7 seconds. Or sorry, the GoPro was at 7 seconds when this thing was at 1, and I was like, wow, that took a long time to fire up and go. But you know, there's a lot more to it than that, and I give it to them. And also, their app is so much better than the GoPro app, and the fact that you have you can edit, like they have a editing platform for you. That's I think Quick. They're working on something. I'm sure. I know they have. I think they're working on Quick for the desktop.
Legacy Quick. They're going to charge you if you want the application for full.
Unless you have a subscription?
Yes, unless you have a subscription, you're going to have to pay. And they've been talking for over a year about Legacy making the desktop. And that's still waiting. And maybe the NAB show, is it called, Steve? That N8B show, which is the Camera Electronics in Las Vegas happening now, they may come out with it.
Yeah. I will say I had such high hopes for GoPro's lineup, how they said 4 new products.
The 4 horsemen.
Like, okay, the Max is coming out, Max 2, the Hero 11, and a new session, and then they said something like for like professionals, professional creators or something like that. So I was like, DSLR or something like that. And then now I'm like thinking, was the Volta the professional creator thing, and then the Bones was the session? Like, that was kind of a bit underwhelming to
I
me.
never even thought about that. I was still waiting on the full 4.
Well, why would you buy
those two?
Yeah. Why would, I know if you're an FPV, why would you buy a Bones camera if you're just going to be creator? That's more money than a GoPro, where you can get a GoPro Hero 10 and you could go get a cage FPV, tear it apart, put it as one. Off you
Yeah,
go.
but wouldn't that cost you money to turn it into that? I think that they're not trying to get just people that might FPV. It's like I think they're trying to appeal to like Hollywood and stuff because the Hero 10 has been used in real movies.
They got the awards, the Emmy awards out. Yeah,
that's right.
And Insta did the same thing as well.
Yeah, yeah. Also, just subscribe to you, by the way. Congratulations on 10K. That's amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I would have had a lot more subscribers years ago, and I chose not to accept the friends many years ago when I started.
What do you mean accept the friends?
When they came as a subscriber, I was able to decline the subscribers at the beginning.
Oh, really?
I chose not to accept them at the beginning.
Oh, how long have you been on?
I've been on.
Sorry, Steve. This is Steve's video. Steve's.
Oh, y'all are doing fine.
I've been on YouTube day one.
Day one, nice.
I started day one, and I made the front page with my not the first video with the Mazatlan cliff diver, and that was done with. Let me see if I can see. That was done with this camera right here, the Mustang BV.
Nice.
And it's 240 by 320 resolution, and it made the front page of YouTube. So I've been there one day.
By the way, shout out.
Yes.
Have you tried the DJI microphones, wireless mics? I'm obsessed with them. I've talked about them too much, but
are they that good?
No,
they are that good. That good. Seriously, if I got them for free, which is awesome. But if I knew what they were like, I would. No, I'm telling you, I have the Rode as well. The DJI just blow it all away. It is so good.
Do they have the internal recording as well?
Yeah, they have the internal recording. They also have haptic feedback, so when you turn it on, and turn it off, it makes it. And I like that. It's little details.
How is the on and off button of your Rode, and how is the button of the DJI?
Amazing. Yeah, the Rode. I hate it. I'm holding it down, going, oh my gosh, am I even holding it down? Like, why is this not going off? Yeah, that's. I mean, but I've had it since like 2017, 2018, or something like that. So it's, and also, you lose the covers, the wind muffs, because they don't clip on there. But DJI, I'm telling you, I would happily buy another pair of them. Hey, there's me. Yeah, that's what is that? Did you get some cat fur or something?
Exactly. You
Dryer
got
lint.
BSI Bob Smith Industry glue is foam cure. Put a little bit around it and put it right on there, and 30 minutes later it needs to cure and it's on. You got 10 minutes to play with it, and it's like rubber cement, and it peels off if you make mistakes. Steve should know about that.
Make a mistake. I know all about that.
You can get that at Hobby Lobby, which you don't have there, Danny Black.
I don't. But this is the only thing I use Rode for. Is in the office. I actually have the Rode receiver going to my camera, and then this one going to this microphone. So it sits up there. I don't have to worry about wires. And there you go.
The micro.
I have the video micro as well. The if you did watch that RC car video where I'm talking in that gazebo, I had the DJI microphone just hooked onto my shirt, and I had a hoodie over that, and it sounded super clear. And that was all done with that, and connected to my phone. Sorry, I'm not gonna try to sell you on this too much, but
no.
Check this out. So this is what's cool. So you can just hook it on like regular to a camera, but first of all, I got to make this review today, anyways. It's touchscreen, so you can adjust.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I've seen it.
But okay, so you put this little guy on here, just like so. Okay, and then you hook it on to your phone, and now it's connected to your phone. Then you're it's there. You don't have any wires or TRRS or whatever. It's there, and it's also got USB-C for USB-C phones, or the Action 2, or probably even, I wonder if the RS would work as well. But that's a really big thing. Yeah.
You don't have to do this, which is a pain in the neck.
Yeah, it is. It's a pain in the neck.
Right.
And every time you want to hit the record button, whatever camera you use, is a pain in the neck.
And also, you got this case that has a battery that charges it all up 3 times over, or 2 times over, something like that. And the 2 microphones. So, you know, you have one person. I did a live stream where me and my friend, we're just to test it out. You know, he had a mic and I had a mic, and we were just chatting away from the camera. And it just sounded so good. Everyone was like,
and that's
it's amazing.
And it's a very expensive. It's like $300 to $400 after taxes and all.
It is expensive. Yeah. Even out here in Australia, it's $500.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could easily see this at the store being twice as much as it is. Like if I was to go to Best Buy or something, and it'd be like the DJI microphones would be $800 US dollars or something.
Wait for the video coming up soon. You see me going to Best Buy and you say, oh, where are all the cameras? Where's everything? Nothing there.
Oh, really?
And, well, the store I go to, it's a lot of theft, so they don't put anything out.
Oh.
And what was I going to say? Slipped my tongue.
I haven't been to. I'm coming back to America in July, just the west coast in Oregon. So it's been a hot minute. Last time was 2019. I went to Vegas, and that was the last time I was in America. So
good for you.
Because of the
COVID,
the C word.
Say it, COVID. I can say the C word.
Yeah, they don't stop people anymore. Like, remember at the beginning it was like flag anything that if anyone says COVID, and now it's like they're like, man, who cares? We're done. Stats reviews.
Max and Minnie, the DJI mic that Danny had, you were hooking that to your iPhone, correct? Because they were asking if it was for the iPhone as well. Do they have it for iPhone as well?
Sorry, were you talking to me? Oh, Max and sorry, yeah, okay, you're reading comment. Yeah. So I'm sure that they just saw that afterwards, probably. That was for the. I mean, it's for everything basically. It's just one of those products when you open it up and you're like, really? Like I watched so many videos on it and I didn't even get the gist of what it did until I started playing with it. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. I
know what I wanted to say. I said DJI forum. You go on it, you make a post, they give you rewards. Insta 360, they give you rewards. So I'll go to DJI forums and I'll continue doing my posts. And I'll build up enough points, maybe referrals, and maybe I can get a DJI mic that way, save a discount and all.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
I think you're going to want to. I always find it funny when people do reviews and they say DJI. It's like really hard to say DJI, sometimes DJI.
Beijing.
Yeah.
If you just type in Google DJI and you see the pronunciation.
Company. So it's like not even just 3 letters. It's supposed to be like pronounced Beijing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You type it in, you'll see it. That's what I noticed. Go ahead, Steve.
Scott had a question about the Rode Wireless Go, and he's like, "How do you keep the dead cat on?" And I was going to say, "Fish." He glues it. He's got rubber cement.
I got the glue here somewhere. It's right there. Excuse me.
I think I've just pressed mine on hard enough over the time to where I just. Like that, it finally sticks on.
If you're in America, USA, you go to Hobby Lobby or Amazon.com and you want to get this, and it's slow as molasses. It'll take probably by the end of this thing to get to the bottom. And it's almost like rubber cement. And we're talking about Insta 361 RS. And you get it on your fingers, you just do this, and it rubs right off. It takes 10 minutes to cure, and you don't want to get it on the microphone, and you don't want to get it, where the mic is at. Actually, go around, put it on there, and it will eventually peel off. But a couple of times, it'll stay on there. And I got a nice close-up shot with the Nova. You could just about see it.
Or Scott, you can
right over there.
You can get this, and it just pops on like a button.
A much better design than the Rode. The Rode was a little twist to it or something?
Yeah. This definitely pops on, but I can't do it for some reason. Because I'm trying to demonstrate it.
How many cyber bears have you have there, Danny?
None. It's 10 o'clock in the morning now.
How many milks have you have? Coffee.
I've had coffee already. Definitely got to have a coffee. All right, I'll leave. I know you're ending this, so I'm going to let you guys finish since I interrupted your stream.
No, not at all. No, continue. I don't mind.
No, I actually have. I have videos I have to make. I have to make my
Yeah.
video on this thing
Danny, it's
today.
been a pleasure meeting you live.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
an
glad I
honor
got
to meet you.
to meet you as well, and sub
Thank you.
to your channel. So, well, I'll be
Thank you.
following along. And all right, let you guys finish off.
All right, man. Take care.
Danny, an excellent gentleman indeed. He's very, very kind, does a great job in his videos. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Danny, check him out and you make that decision what to do. I'm not
Yep.
going to force you to subscribe or not. And the same thing goes with Steve WB, nicest guy in the world, Ohio Fred, and many others that are on the comments and all. We're all good people doing what we like to do, making videos, sharing to the world.
That's what it's about.
Oh, yeah. Are you interested in seeing the X3 if it ever comes out? Sorry that I cut you off.
No, absolutely, for sure. I definitely want to see it. I definitely would consider upgrading too, because I think I'm going to become a 360 camera fanboy. I think I'm going to put the time in, and I'm going to, put the effort forth to learn it really well, because I think I can do some great stuff with it. But it's going to take time.
I'm just holding this up because this is my 360 at the moment.
Oh, I thought you were doing the Men in Black and you're going to
No.
erase my memory.
No. If maybe the Insta 360 can make it narrower, just like this big, that'd be awesome. The only thing I also don't like about the Insta 360 models, I would say, is the door that they have. The 1RS, Danny could have showed it to you. Try to get your finger, try to open it up, and then try to close it. The X2 is a little bit better, but when you go get clothing, you got that little tag that's pinned into there, and that's what the Insta 360 doors are. More times you pull it, it's going to wear out, in and out. So think about that. Leave the door on or take it off when you use it, because the USB Type-C, how are you going to transfer your files? Got to keep taking that door off. They should have made a better door.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's where I like the GoPro. I like the Sassoon door that plug it right in. Maybe somebody makes a door like that. Thanks, Max and Minnie Meow. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really going to say much more. It's getting to be about that time. I'm glad Scott's Reviews jumped in. I'm wondering when he's going to pull his first live on his channel. He's got a good channel. He covers a lot of the Sony stuff. He's got the Sony A4 and the A7S3. He has the Action 2. He's even been on my live once before. So
that's the gentleman. Yeah, I definitely seen him. I forgot about him. I have to go to his channel. I totally hand over head.
See if I can find his link real quick.
I had something to say and I totally forgot again. It must be that time.
We'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, I definitely am going to see the X2 in the family, and it'll be there soon. And I just want to make sure those funds are there, and it is what it is. It happens. So yeah. second decisions and whatnot.
What was now when you first had your X2 and you were headed out of the sunroof and you were having a hard time with the picture rolling and all that stuff? Did you figure that out to actually be a calibration issue with the camera?
One, the X2 out the window, windy. Right. I couldn't get it to stay straight unless it was up behind. That was one problem because it was like this, the camera. It was forward. So I had a little difficulty holding it. And I was only going 20 miles per hour. And depending how the force of the wind hit it. I said in my video, and nobody listened, and I'm not saying you or anybody, if you would have listened out of the box test, that's exactly how I went to do my video.
Right.
I grabbed the camera, I went straight out of the box, and I went to shoot the video. All I did was hit the front button, turned it on, beep, off I go. That's how I shot my video. And it needed to be calibrated. And I did not know that this camera needed to be calibrated out of the box because of the transit. So my video, Steve is saying that when I shot the video, I'm doing this. I'm just automatic AI is just doing what it wants to do all over the place. And I could not get it to go straight. The second X2, I calibrated not once, but twice. Very simple to do. If it's swipe down, swipe to the left, twice maybe, hit the gear, and then you go down to the bottom. If not to the bottom, hit general, go to the bottom, calibration. Put the camera flat, hit the button or swipe it. Within 5 seconds, it calibrates. It says complete, grab the camera, off you go filming. And I shot the video as long as the camera, and I'll use the Samsung Gear 360 2017. This is your point where it faces you, your start point on the screen. I went to film, perfectly solid line. It went straight as an arrow. So that was my issue. But my only gripe was, man, look at that stitch line. Why do I got the stitch line? And I had the sticky lens guards on. I don't know if they were the issue or the wherever it went, the PT20 was the issue. I don't know.
Yeah, there is a setting on the app to where you can select, like you can correct the stitching based on what lens guard you have, and
sticky, the big housing,
right? Because that's what I got. I mean, I got the small rig cage for mine as well.
You don't have to do anything when you go to post with the sticky lens guard. It automatically detects it.
And then you have this beast right here.
That's the one I was referring to. Thank you.
That's the nice big one right there.
You can't use the original case and put that in. So grab your baby sock and use a baby sock, and that's a hint. If you don't have a carrying case, grab a baby sock. Stick it right over any camera. It does a great job protecting the lens. Yeah.
They sent you this one with the. This is actually from Insta. When you buy the big, the big cover, they send you this with it. So
nice.
You know, I bought all these lens protectors because I wanted to protect the fisheye lenses. But then everybody complains about how much glare they put on the camera, and the extra distortion that they cause. It's just like I've never even used them. To be honest,
I don't own a 360 Max. I would probably ask that to my gig user. I could refer to him there, Scott's review. Anything would kind of lose quality, but GoPro, you never know. And I'm going to copyright that. You never know with GoPro. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because of the Fusion when they first came out with the two SD cards, that it took a lot of stitching power to get to that. And 8K, I didn't know it was an 8K camera or whatnot. I can't handle that. Well, I'm heading. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was looking because Scott mentioned the 360 video, and they have the QCam, the Candau QCam, which is an 8K 360 cam.
I seen that. That's what I thought he was referring to the Max on that 8K. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, he's saying the day will come when it's 8K, and the QCam does have the 8K, but I haven't heard wonderful things about it. It's kind of that off-brand still, but
you want to push how well this product is, be my guest, and talk great about it, and people would follow you because you don't want to brainwash them. You want to give them the good and the bad, no matter what product it is. That's me. That's how I am. Do I have anything good to say about GoPro? Yeah, it's a great camera. I love it. Do I have anything bad to say about it? I hate the bugs and issues. And the same thing with Insta. I got to get used to it. My first impressions was, wow. But then as I got into using it, I started to feel like, why do I need this? I don't want to learn that. Too difficult for me. And I kicking myself on the Insta 361 X2.
All right. I guess my wife. If you guys have noticed, there's Savannah B. That's actually Mrs. WB. And I forgot that I'd asked her to pick me up a memory card earlier, and she may be at Target right now asking me what memory card.
I thought the missus was kicking you off the air show and you have to go immediately. So I'm running out of juice anyway, so
Okay.
not a
Well, for
problem.
my wife, it's the I have the SanDisk ImageMate Pro 128 gigabyte. But if you're trying to find it and you're not sure what to get, just wait. I'll order one.
I showed my cards before. They were the SanDisk Extreme Pro,
Yes.
and I'm happy with them. I don't have any issues. And I
Yep.
use the Samsung Evo Select Plus. I'm happy with them, and I don't have issues. And GoPro made it an issue, and they put issues in it on the Hero 10 early on, and now they fixed it. The A2 and the A1 cards. So be careful of the numbers you get, and they can control anything, and it is what it is.
Yep. Truth seekers in the house. We got a legend.
Now, the gentleman, welcome, Truth Seeker. We're nearing our end, but welcome. And he came on the channel and he mentioned something about the X2. And stay tuned, buddy. We'll see what happens next. It may be number. And he's saying, I want to see if you're going to give it up again. Something like that, if I could recall.
Yeah, I remember with
I apologize.
like the GoPro 8, the 7, the 8, the 9. Everybody was complaining about a lot of issues with their camera, and I think 50% of those turned out to be people using the wrong memory card.
Yep.
The wrong memory card will really make your GoPro do some weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Mine used to just stop recording. It would record for like 5 or 10 seconds and then just shut off.
I try to look for all the bugs and issues the camera has, and I should always mark it down, do a little video of it, and let me tell you, this had all those bugs and issues with that card, and it's a great camera. I love this camera. I love this one better, the 7. And
Yeah.
the 7 was the best camera before they started to take all the internals out. And the only thing we wish it had was horizon level. That's the end of my story.
What about you? Got one of these?
I can't see. Yeah, it's over here.
Take your Hero 2 out.
No, I had one of those. No more.
Okay. This is the 2. Go record with your old GoPro and its best resolution, and you will fool people as to what camera that came off of. This Hero 2 has better colors than my Hero 8 does. No doubt. Like, just that, not clarity, the actual colors. But
I've taken that camera and I forgot to put on the side door. Forgot to put on the water housing. Right in the water I went. Salt water. Killed the camera. Killed it. Exactly. Respect the Hero 2.
Yep, and Scott agrees with the Hero 7. Now, there is, if you're a GoPro person, like if you're on this stream, you probably are, but a big complaint with the Hero 8 was and my daughter painted mine for me, so, but
did a good job on it.
If you broke the glass, you had to send it back to GoPro, but there's actually a company called Camera Butter, and they sell you the glass. This is a replacement glass on mine, but they actually cut this tempered glass out and will ship it to you. And they give you the little glue adhesive sticker on the inside, and you can fix your Hero 8. I won't take mine under the water now, but it's supposed to be waterproof, but I don't trust my repair job.
$15.99, something like that, I recall. And I've seen the video. Maybe on the top center, what I recall was a little tab, the video I saw that held it in, but I cannot find that video ever again. Me, I take my camera to the barbecue, and that's my damage to it. I'm waiting for the glass right at the top
Right.
over there. I'm waiting for it to melt one day entirely. This one went into the old furnace I had. I stubbed it right in there, and 400, 4, 5, 6, 700 degrees didn't do justice to it.
Well,
It just just melted.
all right, Fish. What do you say we wrap this up? It's been a good time. Your batteries are getting low and my brain's getting dead. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We had a great time sharing stories about the Insta 360 that we went a little sideways, but all this information is helpful to somebody. Look back on it to see what type of laptop you want to get. I like to hear what type of laptop you have that you edit your 4K video so I can go out and get that similar one. I'm having issues with my Lenovo, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to let Steve close us out because I know he has an outro here. Maybe he don't, but we'll see you on other videos to come. Thank you, Steve, for letting me come along and join on the review. And we thank Danny Black for joining us as well.
yep, absolutely. Always glad to have you, Fish. Danny was a welcome surprise. He wanted a link to Fish's Fish's channel. We ended up sending him a link to the stream. So we duped him into joining us, which was great fun. We wanted to kind of get his insights on the RS anyway, because he really knows his stuff when he comes to these cameras. He's really specialized in action cameras and accessories. So if you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's a very upbeat and fun person. And if you're feeling down and you watch one of his videos, he's always uplifting and positive. A very good guy to watch. If you're having issues and you need to know the technical side, Fish is your man.
No,
He says no,
no.
but the forums love him. That's why. But Fish, he can help you with whatever issue. I mean, he knows these cameras inside and out. And not only does he find the bugs in these cameras, but he usually finds a solution too, and always willing to help someone with their issue. And I just think that Fish is a lot misunderstood by some. They take the fact that he finds the problems and talks about them as him being pessimistic or, you know, a Debbie Downer. But the fact is the issue. And the fact that he finds the issue, if he just found the issue and left it like that and just complained about it, that would be one thing. But Fish tries to find the solution and give you the workaround. And that's what separates him from the others.
Ray of Aptech had an issue. I showed him what the issue was, and he corrected it to everybody. And I helped him out. This company is no longer available. So there's a lot behind the story.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We appreciate you guys coming by. I really only planned for this to be like a 30-minute stream. And, you know, when you get amongst good people and friends, even if it's only a handful of us, it's fun to come together with like-minded people and get going. All right. So with that being said, Fish, thank you. Danny, thank you. Everybody who watched, thank you so very much. I'm Steve WB, and I'm out.
I'm Fish.